Americans woke up to a firestorm on social media. News channels were in overdrive, broadcasting special segments and urgent alerts. Something big had happened, but no one knew exactly what. The suspense was palpable. What did Donald Trump Jr. say that caused this national crisis? The scandalous tweet. The tweet, though not shown in full, was described as a digital bombshell. It contained personal attacks, political accusations, and an unthinkable betrayal. Did he reveal a secret? Did he attack a key political figure? Different sides spun the message, fueling confusion and speculation. The nation was divided, each side interpreting the tweet to fit their narrative. Media and public frenzy Twitter crashed momentarily from the surge of traffic. Journalists scrambled to analyze the tweet, piecing together the fragments. Political figures reacted swiftly. Allies distanced themselves, while critics called for accountability. Talk shows debated whether this was the biggest political scandal in years or just another PR stunt. The air was thick with tension and uncertainty. Trump's unbelievable silence. The biggest shock came when Donald Trump didn't respond. Speculation ran wild. Was it tactical silence, or did he disapprove? The media became obsessed with the question. Will he break the silence or let his son face the heat alone? Struggles with identity. Donald Trump Jr. sat in his luxurious Manhattan penthouse, his mind a whirlwind of conflicting emotions. He had always lived in his father's shadow, forever seen as the son of a powerful man, never quite his own. This latest tweet was a desperate cry for independence, a final attempt to assert his identity. Impulsive nature. He remembered the countless times his impulsive nature had been overlooked. Outbursts, controversial statements. His father had always smoothed things over. But this time, the damage was too great. The tweet had gone viral, sparking a nationwide firestorm. The weight of the consequences pressed heavily on his shoulders. The ultimate betrayal? Did I go too far? He muttered to himself. The question gnawed at him. Had he intentionally gone against the Trump brand? Or was it just another reckless act? The line between rebellion and self-destruction blurred in his mind. A calculated persona, the former president, Donald Trump, was known for thriving in controversy. He relished the chaos, the attention, the drama. But this was different. This was a family scandal, one that cut deep. He paced the opulent halls of his Florida estate, his mind racing with the implications. Legacy versus loyalty. Should I distance myself from my son or protect the Trump name at all costs? He pondered. The decision was fraught with moral and political dilemmas. His legacy was at stake, but so was his family. The tension was almost unbearable. Silent chess game. Every second of silence was scrutinized by the media. Was it strategic patience, or was he hesitating because he didn't know what to do? The world watched, waiting for the master strategist to make his move. The longer he waited, the more the speculation grew. Conflicting advice inside the Trump inner circle. The debate was fierce. Some advisors urged him to disavow his son, cut ties to protect the brand. Others argued that loyalty mattered more than optics, that standing by Don Jr. would show strength and unity. Political calculations. The political ramifications were significant. Could this scandal be spun to his advantage? Or would it damage his political future irreparably? The stakes were high, and every decision could tip the scales. Journalists camp outside news crews surrounded Trump properties, cameras rolling, microphones at the ready. They waited for any sign of movement, any hint of a reaction. The pressure was intense, and the media's relentless pursuit added to the chaos. Talk show analysis. Political analysts dissected the father-son dynamics on talk shows, speculating about the irreparable fracture in the Trump family. The public was captivated, glued to their screens, waiting for the next update. Social media divides hashtags trended worldwide. Trump family feud, Don J. Truth, Trump betrayal. Social media was a battleground, with supporters and detractors clashing in a never-ending cycle of speculation and outrage. Loyalists defend. Some loyal MAGA supporters rallied around Don J. Truth-teller. They praised his bravery, seeing him as a stand against establishment hypocrisy. He's standing up for what's right, one supporter declared on a news segment. Betrayal narrative. Others felt betrayed, seeing Don Jr.'s actions as a dagger to the heart of Trump's legacy. How could he do this to us? A disgruntled supporter asked, her voice tinged with disappointment. The divide within the base was stark. Political opponents, strike critics, seized the moment, demanding consequences. They used the scandal to attack Trump's leadership and integrity. "This is the real face of the Trump family," one political opponent stated, gaining traction on social media. Ivanka's private plea, Ivanka Trump, ever the pragmatist, made a private plea to her father. "Dad, you need to take control of this before it spirals out of hand," she said, her voice urgent. "We can't afford to let this drag on." Melania's distance, the former First Lady Melania Trump remained detached, staying out of the storm. Her silence spoke volumes, a clear indication of her disapproval. She focused on her own projects, letting the family handle the fallout. Siblings under fire, Eric and Tiffany Trump faced scrutiny for their silence. The media and public demanded answers, but they chose to stay behind the scenes, hoping the storm would pass. A defiant move, instead of apologizing, Don Jr. posted a video on his social media. "The backlash proves I was right," he declared, his voice unwavering. "We need to expose the truth, no matter the cost." The video went viral, further polarizing the public. No regrets, no retreat, his refusal to back down forced Trump into a no-win situation. "I won't let them silence me," Don Jr. said in a private conversation with a close friend. "Keep standing by what I believe in." The family's unity was tested like never before, and the stakes had never been higher. The Mar-a-Lago spectacle, a night of tension. The grand ballroom at Mar-a-Lago was a spectacle of glamour and scandal. Political elites, celebrities, and billionaire donors mingled, their laughter and chatter filling the air. Journalists lined the walls, cameras at the ready, their eyes sharp and attentive. Tonight, everyone was waiting for one thing: Donald Trump's response to his son's controversial tweet. Guests murmured among themselves, the unspoken anxiety thick in the air. Would Trump defend Don Jr., or would he distance himself to save face? The tension was palpable, a storm brewing beneath the surface of the glittering event. The unexpected guest, Emma's heartfelt question amid the glamour, a small figure caught everyone's attention. 9-year-old Emma, the daughter of a well-known journalist, stepped forward, her eyes wide with innocence. The room fell silent, all eyes on the child. Emma's voice was soft but clear. "Mr. Trump, do you still love your son, even if he made a big mistake?" The ballroom froze. The only sound was the rapid clicking of cameras capturing the moment. The question hung in the air, a simple yet profound challenge to the former president, a moment like no other. Trump's silence for the first time in his public life, Donald Trump was speechless. The room held its breath, every second of silence feeling heavier than the last. The weight of fatherhood clashed with his political persona, creating a moment of raw vulnerability. Some guests thought they saw a flash of emotion in his eyes, something deeper than anger or strategy. It was a moment of pure humanity, a glimpse into the man behind the public figure. His response? Unisecal. Instead of launching into his usual fiery speech or spinning the situation, Trump simply turned and walked away. The crowd erupted in stunned murmurs. Gasps and whispers filled the room. What did this mean? Indifference? Defeat? A silent message? Cameras captured the moment, the image of Trump walking away becoming an instant icon. Within minutes, headlines flooded the internet. Trump walks away. What does it mean for Don Jr.? A new controversy. Trump's silence becomes the story. The silence that followed Donald Trump's unexpected walk-away at Mar-a-Lago quickly became the new controversy. Questions swirled like a maelstrom. Did Trump abandon Don Jr., or was his silence a sign of deep reflection? Pundits and political analysts were in a frenzy, calling it one of the most unpredictable moments in modern politics. Social media was divided, with supporters and critics dissecting the moment. Was it a strategic retreat, or a father's emotional breaking point? Unanswered questions. Did he really abandon his son, one pundit speculated on a cable news show? Or is this a calculated move to gain sympathy? Political shockwaves. This is unprecedented, another analyst chimed in. Trump has always thrived on controversy, but this is different. This is personal. Newsroom battles, decoding the silence. In newsrooms across the country, the battle to decode Trump's silence was in full swing. Dueling narratives emerged, with some outlets framing it as a rare display of vulnerability and others labeling it an act of cowardice. Dueling narratives, Trump's silence is a powerful statement, one news anchor declared. It shows he's human, just like the rest of us. Talk show wars, heated debates erupted on late-night talk shows. Is this Trump's most human moment or his greatest political blunder? A host asked, sparking a lively discussion among panelists. The spin begins. Analysts speculated on the underlying strategy. Could this be part of a larger plan? One political commentator suggested. Or is Trump finally losing control? Don Jr.'s outrage. Outward violence. A son betrayed? Don Jr. watched his father's silence replayed endlessly on the news, his frustration mounting. He felt betrayed, his heart heavy with a mix of anger and hurt. Emotional fallout. How could he do this to me? Don Jr. muttered to himself, his voice trembling. After everything we've been through. Cryptic Instagram post. In a moment of raw emotion, Don Jr. posted a cryptic message on Instagram. Even lions get abandoned by their own pride. The post went viral, igniting a new wave of speculation. A deepening divide, the MAGA base was torn. Some supporters turned against Trump, siding with his son. "Stand by your family, Mr. President," one commenter wrote. Others insisted Trump was playing the long game. "He knows what he's doing," a loyal follower argued. Late-night satire, turning pain into comedy. Comedians seized the moment, turning the pain into comedy. Viral parodies of Trump's silent exit flooded the internet, complete with dramatic music and slow-moving effects. Viral parodies. One comedian reenacted the moment, adding a touch of humor. And then, the silence. "Classic Trump," he quipped, drawing laughter from the audience. Social media frenzy. Twitter exploded with the hashtag #TrumpWalksAway, trending worldwide. Memes and jokes filled timelines, each more creative than the last. Humor or humiliation? While some found the parodies hilarious, others saw them as a tragic moment of a father-son rift. "This isn't funny," one user commented. "This is a family in crisis." Trump's internal struggle, alone with his thoughts, alone in his private residence. Trump watched the coverage, his mind a whirlwind of conflicting emotions. Emma's question replayed in his mind. "Do you still love your son?" The words lingered, haunting him. A rare moment of solitude. He sat in his study, the weight of the world pressing down on him. The unspoken dilemma gnawed at him. Defend his son and risk political fallout? Stay silent and lose him forever? Ivanka tried to intervene. Ivanka, sensing the tension, tried to intervene. She called both men, hoping to broker peace. "Dad, please talk to Don. This is tearing us apart," she pleaded, but received no response. What will he choose? The battle wasn't just political. It was personal. Trump's mind raced with the possibilities. What would he choose? The answer eluded him, but the clock was ticking. The world watched, breathless, waiting for the next move in this high-stakes drama. The tension behind closed doors. Father and son stood face to face in a private room, the air thick with unspoken words and unresolved tensions. Don Jr. wasted no time, his voice shaking with a mix of anger and hurt. "You used me, Dad. Again and again you used me for your political games." For once, Trump didn't interrupt. He listened, his usual confident demeanor replaced by a rare moment of silence. The weight of the accusation hung between them, a silent testament to years of built-up resentment. Don Jr.'s accusation. A lifetime of feeling used, resentment unleashed. Don Jr. continued, his voice growing more intense. "Every time I felt like a political pawn, not a son. You stand by me when it benefits you, but when it costs you, you walk away. This isn't the first time, and it won't be the last if you don't change." Trump's rare vulnerability showed as he exhaled deeply. For the first time, he seemed unsure, the ironclad facade cracking. The room was silent, the tension palpable. Don Jr.'s words cut deep, exposing a lifetime of emotional wounds. The unexpected apology, a rare moment of honesty. Trump's confession came slowly, each word carefully chosen. "I don't always know the right move, but I do know one thing. You're my son before you're anything else." His voice was raw, stripped of the usual bravado. A moment of silence followed. Don Jr. didn't respond immediately, but something in his expression shifted. The weight of the words hung in the air, a fragile bridge over a chasm of damaged trust. Could a lifetime of damage be undone in a single sentence? The televised statement, a father's public reckoning. Trump broke his silence on national television, his words carefully chosen to convey both sincerity and strength. Family is complicated. Mistakes are made. But no father stops loving his son. The statement was powerful, a rare moment of vulnerability from a man known for his unyielding confidence. The reaction was immediate and divided. Some saw it as a powerful human moment, a glimpse into the man behind the public figure. Others called it damage control, a calculated move to regain favor. The media and public were split, the moment becoming a focal point of debate and analysis. The internet reacts, a legacy redefined. The phrase, "no father stops loving his son," flooded social media, becoming a viral phenomenon. Memes, debates, and think pieces filled the internet, each offering a different interpretation of the moment. Some called it Trump's most genuine moment, a rare display of emotional honesty. "He's finally showing us who he really is," one commenter wrote. Others saw it as just another calculated move, a savvy play to soften his image. "This is just more political theater," another user argued. The final question loomed large. Has Trump softened, or is this just another chapter in his political game? The world watched, breathless, as the story unfolded, wondering what the future held for the Trump family and the legacy of a man who had always thrived on controversy and contradiction. The weight of public life fame is a double-edged sword, giving power but stripping away privacy. The Trump family learned this lesson the hard way. Public perception and personal relationships often clashed, making every decision a minefield. Being in the spotlight meant that every mistake was magnified, and redemption was never easy. "Don, you have to understand, fame comes with a price," Trump said, his voice heavy with experience. "It gives you a platform, but it also makes you a target. The public sees us one way, but our family is different." Don, Jr. replied, his eyes reflecting the struggle. "Sometimes it feels like we're living two lives." "Redemption isn't just about making amends," Trump continued. "It's about being true to yourself, even when the world is watching." A new chapter for Don Jr. Don Jr. announced a break from politics, a decision that surprised many. He focused on his family, something he admitted he had neglected. For once, he was making a choice for himself, not for the public or his father. "I need to step back and focus on what really matters," Don Jr. told a reporter, his voice steady but tinged with emotion. "My family, my kids, they deserve more of me." He spent more time with his children, playing games and having dinner together. The change was noticeable, and those close to him saw a different side of Don Jr. Some people saw it as growth, others called it an escape, but for him, it was about finding balance. "Some people see it as growth," Don Jr. reflected. "Others call it an escape, but for me it's about finding balance. I'm making choices that are right for me, not for the cameras." Trump's unintentional transformation, the moment at Mar-a-Lago, had unintentionally humanized Trump. He remained controversial, but this moment exposed his vulnerability. People began to see him differently. Some called him weak, while others saw him as a father first, a politician second. "That night, I saw a side of you I never knew existed," Ivanka said, her voice soft. "Maybe this is a chance for you to show the world who you really are." The public's perception shifted. "He's not just a politician," one supporter wrote on social media. "He's a father, and sometimes that's the most important role." History will remember this chapter, whether it's a moment of weakness or a sign of strength. "It's a part of who I am," Trump mused, watching the news coverage. Emma's legacy, a child's question, a nation's reflection. The little girl's innocent question had more impact than any journalist's grilling. It was a simple, pure moment that left a lasting mark. Emma watched Trump's interview, a smile spreading across her face. "Did you hear what he said?" Emma asked her father, her eyes bright. "He answered my question." Her father nodded, his voice filled with pride. "Sometimes the simplest questions have the biggest impact." "You did something amazing today, Emma." Emma watched the screen, her heart swelling with a sense of accomplishment. "I think he answered me," she said, turning to her father. "And maybe he'll be a better father because of it." The room was filled with a sense of hope, a small but powerful reminder that even in the world of fame and politics, the simplest moments can bring the greatest changes.